Hey guys, welcome to Ultimate Survival Tips. I'm here with Joe. Hey man.
What's going on, brother?
Hey, so today I get a lot of questions. I'm gonna start that over.
That was a good what's going on, brother. See, this is why Facebook Lives are so much easier, because you can't. Let's go.
You can't, okay.
Action.
Hey guys, welcome to Ultimate Survival Tips. I'm here with Joe. What's up, dude?
Hey man, how are you?
So today we are gonna look at survival knives. Not any specific category, but we're gonna cross all the categories of survival knives. We are gonna talk about the features, advantages, and benefits, and any superpowers that these knives have. And then we are gonna just try and help you guys decide what knife might be best for you. So as we get started, Joe, let's just talk a little bit about what a survival knife is. And I came up with a definition. You want to hear it?
Yes, I do.
I spent like an hour writing it.
I know you worked hard.
Okay. My definition of a survival knife is a general utility knife that you can trust to perform the widest range of tasks, stand up to the most adverse conditions, and assist you in keeping alive and or accomplishing your mission. Now I did a video a few months ago sharing with people the 11 tips to choosing a knife that you guys can use just out of the box to kind of define which one of these knives might work for you. The first knife we're going to look at is the Gerber Strong Arm. I think they came up with a winner with the Gerber Strong Arm. This has been out for a couple of years.
Yes.
And what do you think of that?
I really do like this knife. For me, as I was collecting, as I was working towards what I wanted to, this was like my first benchmark.
This is made in the USA. And one thing I'm going to do with these knives is Amazon ratings have gotten better because they have verified purchases now. So I'm going to give the Amazon rating of this knife because hundreds of people have reviewed it and rated it and bought it. This is rated at a 4.7. Price point, I'm just going to say generally around $80 US.
Right, yes.
A unique thing about this, what they did with this knife, instead of giving you just one choice, they gave you actually 4 choices. You can have a handle choice of black or coyote brown, and a blade choice of either part serrated or full fine edge, which is kind of nice. It is 420HC stainless steel.
This has been tested and abused, and that 420HC stands up really, really well.
And it's a 4.8 inch blade. It's light. It's 7.2 ounces. It's one of the lighter knives in our category. Glass-filled nylon handle, rubber overmold, which Gerber's kind of famous for. They do a really good job of that. This is actually a full tang knife. The pommel comes out and you have like this nice pointy pommel for breaking things. We got a modular sheath that you can carry various different ways. You just have to read the instructions. So, pros on this knife.
I would say a big pro on this knife is it's a little bit smaller, made in the USA, lightweight, pretty good steel.
It's a very adaptable sheath, modular. And I like the blade options on this. Cons.
Probably could be a little bit stronger steel.
Okay, a little bit stronger steel. I don't mind the steel so much. Cons are, it's a little bit more tactically oriented, so if you want like a general utility knife, this might not be beefy enough for you. So that's about all, the steel and maybe that. Superpowers. What's the superpower of this? I'm gonna say it's just super light and tactical. It's a great tactical
I
knife.
think
Good bug out bag knife.
Maybe one of the reasons why we're finding like what is its superpowers is because it's good at everything.
Next up, the Ka-Bar BECKER BK2. I'm gonna put this in the utility category. So rating on this is really high. People like this knife. It's rated at 4.7 and the price point is somewhere around, I don't know, 70 to 100 bucks. This is a drop point blade, full flat grind. This is beefy, man. This is a full pound right there. One defining feature of this is it's a full 1/4 inch. I will tell you that this knife was one of my major inspirations for the MSK1. The MSK1 also is a full 1/4 inch. It's 1095. It's a good steel, right? And you got to coat it because it's not stainless steel. And it is full tang, so the blade still runs the whole way through the knife to this kind of crushing pommel. On the pros and cons, let's just talk about the pros and then we'll get to some cons of this knife. So it's got an average sheath. We didn't take a look at the sheath. It's a decent Kydex sheath. One con on this that I've seen is I've seen a lot of guys carry this to like a survival training or bushcraft training, and almost inevitably within a day they're either on Amazon ordering something to be delivered next day, or they're gonna try and buy something from somebody else. This is a beast of a knife. It's a good bug out knife. It's a good all-purpose knife. It's kind of like urban utility. You're not gonna break this knife. However, if you want to do fine detail, this is probably not the knife for you. Superpower, what do you think?
Strength.
Strength, yeah, this is like
strength.
I'm gonna call this the Hulk.
Yeah,
this is the Incredible Hulk of knives.
I would agree with you.
This is the Ka-Bar BECKER BK2. Okay, this is the SK5 Blackbird. This is designed by my friend Paul Scheider. He sent me this awesome sheath, Hedgehog Leatherworks, for my SK5, and I love this sheath. The stock sheath's not so bad, but anyway, this is a, what would you call that point?
Spear point.
It's more of a spear point, yep. Spear point. I'm gonna call this like a wilderness bushcraft knife. This is made in the USA, rating 4.6.
Nice.
People like the knife a lot. Price point is somewhere around $110 to $120 US. Good steel. Steel. You know,
is that a
steel
stainless CPM?
Yeah, this is 154 cm.
Yeah.
Stainless. Yeah, so
this
that knife is around 7 ounces.
Yeah.
We've got some canvas micarta handles. It's a full tang again. This is better for light to medium bushcraft.
I would say so.
Pros on this knife?
I would say lightness. That stainless steel is a really good pro as well. You can put this in here and in your sheath and not worry too much about oxidation.
Cons on this knife, you really need to be careful. If you're going to be batoning, you got to watch your knots. It's just, it's got this flat grind that is almost like a Scandi that tapers the whole way up to the spine. So it's really thin at the edge. It's great for some things, but for really hard work, you want to be really careful with it. So this is the OKC Blackbird SK5. What do we got next there?
Cold steel SRK?
Cold steel SRK. So interesting thing with this knife, this is a standard issue knife for Navy SEAL buds.
No kidding.
Yeah. So it's kind of a beast, and that super grippy handle. It looks the part, and a lot of people love this knife. I love this knife. So I kind of put this in the utility tactical. And my particular knife is made in Japan. This is AUS 8 stainless steel. We got more of a clip point here. We've got a 6-inch blade, so it's a little bit larger blade than some of the other knives we're going to look at. It's got a flat ground. It's 8.2 ounces. I'm not sure if this is full tang. I'm going to have to go back 3 years and watch my review of it, but I think it is full tang. Pros of this knife?
It's light. It's very grippy. It's simple, but very functional.
Cons on this. It is rated on Amazon right now at the lowest rating of any of the knives we have in this list, which isn't bad, but it's 3.9.
Really? That's surprising.
There are some people that have said that maybe things changed from the original ones. So if you're going to get the SRK, just be careful that you're getting the Japanese ones. At the time of this review, they were out of stock on Amazon. So, you know, just keep your eyes open for it. So we don't have a pummel on this knife. That's maybe a downside depending on your application. It's a good knife. Sheath is average. Superpowers on this is it can do a lot of things well, and I'm just gonna put the fact that they use it for buds.
If they got
standard
those
issue,
guys use it,
there's a good reason they are. Okay, next up we got a classic here. This is you know what this is?
LMF2.
That's the Gerber LMF2. That's made in the USA still. I'm gonna put that in the utility, tactical, more of like a sear 72-hour survival knife. This knife was designed for air crew so that they could cut themselves out of a fuselage. If they cut through wires, serrations are always going to stay sharp long after your fine edge. This is not a full tang blade. So, but that's done with a reason. If this was full tang, it would conduct electricity. If you cut through a wire into the pommel, and your hand could be on that metal, and you could get a shock, have a shocking experience. So what they did is they buffered that. They have a electrical seal buffer between the tang and the pommel, so it's super solid, but you don't have electrical connectivity right to the pommel. Okay, so some specs on this: rating 4.6. That's high. Price is around $80 US. Steel is back to your 420 HC. Drop point blade, part serrated edge. Got a flat grind. It's a little bit on the heavier side. It's 11.7 ounces. Pros are, I'm gonna say, proven. It's a solid performer. The sheath system with this is actually versatile. I like it. It's got a built-in sharpener. It's a bit big for fine work, and the serrations will chew things up. Those are my cons. I'm just gonna say superpower is that it's a solid tactical utility blade, good urban bug out blade.
Excellent. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, what do we got next here in line there, Joe? What do you think?
This is the Light My Fire from Mora.
It's on the list because it's hard to beat a Mora for a good, simple, easy to use, good first knife that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, that can go in a bug out bag or survival kit. You can get your feet wet on that knife. Go ahead, tell the guys a little bit more about it.
The superpower is it's got a secret compartment where you've got your ferro rod in here too. That's why it's called a Light My Fire. Pretty inexpensive. I would say probably at the time of this video under $30.
Yep. Some other specs on it. I would put this in the wilderness bushcraft category starter knife. Rating on this is 4.7. Super light, 2.8 ounces. It's Sandvik stainless. Okay, so pros, affordable, good steel. The fire steel, it's a simple knife. Cons, it's not super rugged and it's not full tang.
And it's on the smaller side, too, which
yep.
is going to limit you to different things that you're going to be able to do.
Superpower is just great, affordable beginner blade. Okay, what do we got there, Joe?
The SCHF 9 by SCHRADE.
Okay, so I'm gonna put that in kind of like the wilderness utility category. Some more specs on this. Price point is
38.
yeah, like right around 40 bucks US. Street price. Steel is $10.95. High carbon steel. Blade is a drop point. It's a 6.4-ish inch drop point. Full tang, so that's good. It's a recurve edge,
which you can sharpen it. And you can learn to sharpen it too if you watch Dave's video. But I'm not really good at sharpening this recurve edge.
So almost a pound on this knife, and the handle's TPE rubberized, and the pros of it.
Great price point for a beginner. Great comfort in there as well.
The cons on it, it's really not the most nimble blade. I've seen some guys that are newer to knives, especially guys who like just picked it up and they really hadn't used their knife much, kind of struggle with this. So maybe start out with a smaller blade or get us, hey, for this price you could get a Mora and one of these for about what you can buy any of the other ones to start out with. So it's a great solid knife. Superpower. I'm gonna say a lot of knife for the price.
Yeah,
you get a lot. You get a lot for your 40 bucks on that. Next up, we have, what do we have?
SE4.
SE4. This is the Rowan version. It's a little bit unique. I paid extra for this top, the sharpened edge on the top. A lot of guys like it. Wilderness, utility, even light tactical.
Companion knife too, put it right on your belt.
Companion knife, yep. The thing I don't like about this knife is some of these powder coats. This is really got some texture to it. You got to protect the 1095 blade. And so, depending on the powder coat, they overcompensate by putting these heavier finishes on it. And there's a lot of texture to that. So
it just creates more friction.
It's going to create more friction, yep. So that's my big downside. I mean, it looks cool. It's going to perform well.
It's a pretty knife. I love those orange liners in there as well.
Yeah, so that's a canvas micarta handle. It's a full tang knife, so that's good, strong.
Yeah,
it's a lightweight, 7.3 ounces on that. Pros on that: light, nimble, versatile, decent sheath. It's a good pommel. Here's the sheath right here. It's pretty much a standard Kydex type sheath, but it snaps in there real tight. It's a 4.6 rated knife. A lot of reviews on it. Cons on this knife, I already talked about the powder coat. I'm not a big fan of that textured powder coat. It is somewhere around 100 bucks. So that is the SE4, and this is in particular the Rowan. The difference between the other SEs and the Rowan is that you will just have this straight spine and no edge. That's it. Next up, we have
the SOG Seal Pup.
So it looks like a Dragon Slayer. So this is the little brother of the full-blown SOG Seal Elite, whatever, which is going to be about this long, and I couldn't find mine, otherwise I would have brought it out. But the pup's are real nice. It's a nice, obviously this is more of a tactical fighting knife. It's well rated at like 4.3 out of 5 stars. Price point is pretty affordable at 50 bucks. Steel is AUS 8. Okay. I think it's made in Taiwan.
It is.
Okay, made in Taiwan. And we believe this is full tang. And it's a bit, okay, so maybe on the downside upside is this has got a hollow grind, meaning that it's beveled. So this is going to be a super duper sharp knife, good for maybe a bug out bag, bushcraft, especially combat. It's super light at, I'm going to call this 5.2 ounces.
That's the lightest knife on there, except for the Moras.
So pros on this, it's more of a combat, sear, kind of tactical knife.
Right.
Lightweight. And cons are serrations, too.
Depends upon your preference.
Yep, and Other con might be just some durability concerns depending on whether you're gonna beat on it or not. Superpower, I think it's a great tactical knife. Okay, next up, what do we got?
Tops Brachimo.
Okay, a lot of you guys probably have
one of my favorites.
This is a very, very good knife for a lot of things. A lot of you guys have probably never seen this knife. It's, again, the Brachimo. It's by Tops. It's 1095 steel. Made in the USA. Not a super amount of reviews, but it's 5 out of 5 on Amazon. And again, we've got a full tang. Do we have a pummel on that?
Yes.
Not much. Yeah, we do have a pummel. And, oh, we've got a bow drill divot on both sides.
On both sides.
That's a nice touch. It's a little bit more heavy, but not super heavy. It's 9.5 ounces. This is a good all-around utility knife. But
it's a great mid-size too.
It's a good mid-size.
Some people might think, oh, it's a big knife. No, this is a mid-size knife compared to some of the other knives.
So pros, it's beefy, solid. Only real con I can say to it is that it's just not stainless. But you know, you're getting into a good steel at 1095. That's the Tops Brachimo, and it comes with this this Kydex sheath. Price on the Tops Brachimo is it's a little bit on the pricier side for most of the knives we have out here at about 120 to 140 bucks US.
It's one of those benchmark knives, man. If you like this is one you save up for.
Yep. Next, and this is the last one on our top 10
might
list.
be the most classic one.
This is the classic. This is the K-Bar USMC. They would probably put this in fighting knife, but this was just a general all-purpose fighting and utility knife. And they're still made in the US. Right up just
not far
from here in Olean, New York. Leather handle grip, which is kind of a nice touch.
That's a nice touch, nice classic touch on that.
1095 Crovan, again.
Assuming that this is more of a rat tail tang that goes all the way.
More of a rat tail tang. It's a less expensive way to make a mass-produced knife, and then it does have a pummel, but it's solid. You can kind of see it here. So we've got a pummel, but that rat tail kind of comes and terminates there, and they must pin it or weld it in there to keep all of this stable. Pros on it, it's just a classic performer. Cons on it, it's not for everything or everybody, but I probably wouldn't take this to a bushcraft training, but if this was, I might pick this up for my third or fourth knife to, you know, have in more of a tactical kit or a tactical bug out bag, something like that. Superpower?
I think this is just the granddaddy of them all.
Okay, so
there's our 10.
That's our 10.
Welcome to Pandora, minion.
For upcoming knife and survival gear top 10 videos, make sure you subscribe to this channel and let us know your favorite all-purpose fixed blade knife. We've just taken a look at our top 10 survival knife picks from various categories. For more information on the one knife that I intentionally left off of this list, my MSK1 multi-scenario knife system, and for the fantastic knives we just covered, I placed links in the video description on YouTube. Just click the Show More tab below. For daily survival tips, cool hacks, knife videos, and our weekly Facebook Live gear giveaways, visit Ultimate Survival Tips on Facebook. And don't forget to grab your free monthly survival e-mag at ultimatesurvivaltips.com. And for more gun videos, survival adventures, and gear reviews, check out the Ultimate Survival Tips Show on Carbon TV. Okay, this is David. I hope to see you on the other side. And remember, be prepared because you never know.
Welcome to Pandora, minion.